Hey everybody, and welcome back to another Tip Thursday with me, Connor Klein, the Language Czar. And yes, you are in the right video. It doesn't look like Warsaw, Poland because I'm actually in Tenerife, but this is the video $100 and what it can get you in Warsaw, Poland. The reason I'm shooting this intro in a different location is because there are going to be some big changes to this channel, including the name. I've been playing around a few different names, and don't be surprised, it's going to be the same channel with me, Connor. So one thing I wanted to know is what you think about this $100 series. Do you think the money range should be higher, like $500, $1,000? I'm thinking of changing that as well as I travel around Europe. Keep your comments coming, write them below. Going to be talking a lot about not just about languages, also about traveling in the region and how you can have a more locally epic travel experience, and also about dating, because I get a lot of questions about dating. Let's get into today's video, which is $100 Warsaw, Poland. So let's start with accommodation here in Warsaw. Now, if you want a nice apartment in the city center, it's gonna set you back about 60 to 80 US dollars. Now, you can of course get a lot cheaper if you go outside of the city center. So there it's probably gonna be costing like 40 or 50 US dollars. I used Airbnb to find my apartment. That's kind of my default when I'm traveling and I don't know the city, and maybe an agent for apartments in the city where I'm traveling to. So that's the kind of price range you should budget for an apartment in Warsaw. So next up is food. A 2-course meal in a decent restaurant with drinks in the center of Warsaw seems to be costing between 17 and say 23 US dollars. So we're talking like 15 to approximately 18 or 20 euros, depending on where you go and what you eat. Of course, that fluctuates. If you want to eat fast food, is going to be a lot cheaper. If you want to go to fine dining, if it's going to be much more expensive. But that's to give you a general ballpark figure, and the kind of places I've been eating in, so I can talk from personal experience. That's the kind of budget that you should expect for food here in restaurants in Warsaw. So next up are drinks. If you want to go for a cocktail after a long day of sightseeing here in Warsaw, or maybe you've just been hanging out with friends or working from a cafe, like a lot of you digital nomads tend to do, it's going to cost you around 20 zloty, which is $5.80 US pretty much, or a little bit under 5 euros for a cocktail here in the center of Warsaw. And if you want to go for a local beer, that's going to be about half that, so 10 zloty. So yeah, that's going to be a little bit more or less 3 US dollars. And if you're a coffee addict like I am, then as you'll see from my Instagram stories, I'm always having a few flat whites somewhere in a nice cafe when I'm working. That is going to cost you a little bit more than a local beer. It's like about 12 zloty is what I've been seeing as the price, and that's like about 2 euros 80, or just a little bit over 3 US dollars that you should budget for. In terms of transport, I've been going around the city actually by Uber, and that costs more or less between 10 and 20 zlotys. So yeah, anything up from maybe 3 to 5 or 6 US dollars is kind of the normal price range for a trip here. I didn't take any official taxis. I just use Uber because it's my default go-to when I'm traveling, and it's just a lot more convenient and I don't need to download extra apps. So if you actually use taxi apps here in Warsaw, or you know a better option, then please write below in the comment section. Help everyone else out who might be coming here to Warsaw. Now, if you feel like going to something cultural, like maybe the National Museum here in Warsaw, that's also going to cost you 20 zloty. So that's going to be a little bit under 6 US dollars, a little bit under 5 euros for entrance to that. So let's total that up and see what you can get for your 100 bucks, around 80 euros. You're going to be able to stay in an apartment outside of the city center, go for 2 meals in restaurants, and then you can throw in maybe two flat whites, 2 coffees, and maybe a cocktail, 2 beers, your Uber to the National Museum, and you should be more or less at 100 bucks. If you've been here and you find the price range I've given to be too high, too low, you know better ways to save money, then definitely let everybody know in the comment section below the video. We're building a great community here of people who are interested in traveling to the more eastern part of Europe in general. So definitely help everybody out and share your experiences. And also let me know if you find the prices here in Warsaw expensive or cheap compared to what you were expecting, maybe where you live or where you normally travel to. Do you think that Warsaw is good value for money, or you think it's a little bit more on the expensive side? that's it for another Tip Thursday. Big thumbs up, of course, if you liked the video. Whack the notification bell beside the subscribe button, because you're already a subscriber, of course, because you watch these videos. And if you're not, then please go subscribe. And I've been working on a new course, which is going to be how to survive a trip to Eastern Europe. And that's actually based on your feedback on my Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook poll that I recently had out. So you gave me a lot of great feedback there, a lot of really valuable comments, and that seems to be something that a lot of you, my viewers, are interested in getting more help with. There's a link in the description below there. Just have to type in your email and then click confirm on the confirmation email that you're going to receive in your inbox, and then you will have access to that free course. So I'll see you in the next video. It's Papa from Warsaw, which is bye-bye in Polish, and look forward to seeing you and your smiling face pretty soon.